John, what's your reaction in the aftermath of that performance?
First of all, it's completely and utterly unacceptable. It's just not up to standard, and we've been in every game this year until last week, and we dropped away last week, and today just didn't seem like it had a baseline to it at all in any area, and we just didn't come to compete. And that's the very essence of the game. If you don't come to compete and fight, you get shown up no matter who you play. And we've played 3 good teams the last 3 weeks in good form, but you need to have a baseline, and we didn't have that tonight.
Have you ever been a part of a performance like that where seemingly nothing you do changes?
No.
What you said at halftime, you were trying to change things. I mean, what could you do?
We're just trying to. Well, you can do a couple of things. You can try and shift players around, which we're trying to do. But in the end, you've the very essence of trying to win the contest and put pressure on the opposition, and that leads to. If you do that, it leads to better skills and leads to better everything. But it's just we had nothing out there. It showed, and that was a disappointing aspect. Was just. There's got to be a fiercer pushback than that.
Are you a little, I guess, bewildered by that, given how good you've been for most of the season?
Yeah, to put in something like that. I mean, to put in a performance like that, probably that'd be one word to describe it.
How do you get to the bottom of that?
Well, we'll work through it. I mean, it's just obviously pretty raw, just finishing now, and we'll work through it. Like we have to do. We'll get up tomorrow and work through it. But at the moment, it's pretty raw because I feel like our supporters and our players in there at the moment just it's not up to standard.
What was your message to the players at halftime and after?
Oh, we've got to win some contests. It's pretty basic stuff. I mean, at some point you've got to put yourself in the fight and push back, and we're just unable to do it.
And after the game?
Same message. Same message.
Can you fix this in 3 weeks?
We need to. We absolutely need to. When we're in a situation where we've got to get to work, and it's where it sits at the moment, it's not good enough.
Where does that start? I mean, so much went wrong. Where does that work start?
It starts in the contest, as it always does. There's no sort of magic wand you can wave over it. You've just got to be able to go out there and compete. Now we'll sit down and work out what we need to do as coaches and leaders to turn that around and work through a solution to it. But as it sits here tonight, we need a bit of time.
Are you concerned that a loss like that can leave mental scars?
Well, I think we're concerned because of the loss. We're all disappointed in the loss. But that's the reality of footy. Sometimes it happens. It hasn't happened to us very often at all. It has happened, now we deal with it. That's the only way to attack it.
And just a note on how the Power went about what they did?
Oh, they were fantastic. They were terrific. They've been playing well the last few weeks. Would have been good to put some more heat on them. Particularly early on the contest. We were just smashed early on that contest. It was just, I think it was 24, 25 or a minus in the first quarter alone, and that's just not going to do it against anyone.
John, apologies for the late entry, but that 8-game sequence with Port, is that the constant? You've always talked about the pressure that they bring in the game, but is that the constant? Is that the issue that challenges you?
Tonight I think was on the back of last week. There's other things I think that are on the top of my mind at the moment. We just played so poorly tonight. in the contest so poorly. That's what, yeah.
Is the group almost get too comfortable, given where you were a few weeks ago and how far ahead you were? The group rested on.
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, it's hard to, unless you're a mind reader, and to work out exactly if that's the case. But our feeling internally, that's not the case. But you need to, at the end of the day, when you see a performance like that, I'm like anyone else. You sit there and say, why is that? Where'd that come from? Now it's up to us to come up with the solutions, and we'll work through that as a coaching group and a leadership team. But in the end, as it sits here tonight, it's just absolute disappointment in our performance. It's just not sure where it come from. And so we need to work through that and see what comes out the other side, and we get a chance next week to make things right.
How are the players?
Disappointed, shattered.
When you talk about contest, you've got a guy who excels in that, and Luke Parker, who's been your sub for a lot of 4 games or so. You need to start injecting him into games.
Oh, maybe, but I think it was a bit more than Luke, to be honest. I mean, there's a bit more to it than that, I think.
Starts have been a recurring theme. I'm sure you put a long time into it. How do you get out of the blocks quicker?
We've talked about it. We've talked about training. We've tried different methods before the game. In the end, we need to stop talking about it and get on with it. We're not changing it. I mean, it just needs to. We need to become. We just got to be fiercer in the contest early in the game. It's as simple as that. I mean, in the end, you have to win more of your 50-50 ball. If they get the ball out and it goes into the opposition's forward line, we've got to be better at stopping that. And we're not at the moment in the first quarters. And that's putting us on the back foot enormously. And we've got to be better than that. We managed him. We had he and Malik in the back end of the year that we thought they played an enormous amount of footy with, considering their soft tissue history, and because of him Malik and last week sort of hurting his hamstring a little bit, it made us a bit jumpy about playing Joel, and so we knew that they needed a rest at some point. Otherwise, they were going to put themselves at risk, particularly on back-to-back 6-day breaks, which we've got. Travel, back-to-back 6-day breaks. A guy with soft tissue injury history like Melican had. Did we push the envelope last week a bit more with Melican? Maybe we did. Maybe we should have given him that game off, but we didn't want to make the same mistake twice.
How confident are you that this group can get back to the footy playing 2 months ago?
Yeah, we're confident, but we've got to do it. We're confident, but we've got to do it. We've got to roll the sleeves up and get to work and do a much better job than what we did tonight.
Thanks, Ross.